And I come out of my childhood knowing I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable, I don't fit in, I'm not a part of the team, I'm not going to be called upon to get up on stage and get the award, I'm not going to succeed. And so we tend to live up to our story. We believe it so much, we perform that way.
Yeah.
This is my script. I'm not going to succeed. And if I get close to succeeding, I'll sabotage it to prove I can't succeed. And that's staying with the script.
Yeah. Hello, my loves. This is Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel, teacher, healer, and author. And I am obsessed with all things metaphysical, esoteric, galactic, and of course, the healing journey. And I'm here to share my stories, my wisdom, and my teachings about being human in the illusion that we call reality. Welcome to Cosmic Blonde. Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Blonde. Today we have Dallas, who is the 16-hour coach and the emotional baggage handler. I really love that part. Author and speaker. After the year of life collapse, starting over at 60, you are stronger than you know, and it is never too late. Trauma, cancer, losing his wife, house, business, and family. A suicidal alcoholic dies or starts over. His experience comes from failing a lot. Welcome to the show, Dallas.
Thank you, Joanna. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's dive in. I want you to share a little bit about your story, starting with the year that, everything kind of went south.
Sure. Okay. Jumping into the middle of the story, I guess.
Yeah. Let's start there and see where we go.
July 1st, 2021, 4 months into a global pandemic. My wife and I have a restaurant, which is on its dying legs, as you can imagine, as most restaurants and bars were hit hardest.
Yeah.
And I wake up that morning, the best morning of my life, with cancer. Big lump in the side of my throat. Came out of nowhere. Wasn't there the night before. No cold.
Like you had a physical lump there?
Physical golf ball in the side of my neck.
Wow.
Overnight. So right away, of course, we know. There's a certain knowing we all have. Often we just try to ignore it.
Yeah.
And that's where all the trouble is.
Yeah.
Letting it happen is where good things can happen. So within the next few months, I go through surgery and then into radiation and treatment. And I get home on Christmas Eve. And within just a few months, my wife and I separate. I lose the business, my house. My family is gone and broken in any way you can imagine. And exactly 1 year to the day, July 1st, 22, I wake up in a basement suite of an old house, alone, absolutely destroyed, suicidal, and alcoholic. So that's a little about it. That's the year I call the year of life collapse. And I also call it the greatest year of my life.
Yeah, it usually is. I mean, I went through a year where I call my I don't call it the life collapse, but it pretty much was. And it literally is the transformation moment where everything changes. So that year it all stemmed from you waking up with the cancer and that just leading into what, depression?
No, it stemmed from the 60 years before.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the 60 years before.
That's what our life is.
Yeah.
Our life is a story.
Yes.
I call it the story mind. It is the presence that we think we are, the who we think we are.
Yes.
Is the story we associate ourselves with. We self-identify as our history.
Yes.
All our yesterdays make this book we walk around with, so that when I meet you and you say, tell me something about yourself, I begin telling you some stuff out of my book, my story, to explain who I am. Now, the reality is that's not who we are.
No.
That is just the lived experience that is built up into this drama, this Netflix series this major motion picture that we are the star of.
Yeah.
And we think we are that person on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And we carry baggage, lots of baggage. Birth itself, I think, is the initiator of trauma into fear and insecurity. And our entire lives, that whole story is built around fear and insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And the script is really directed by the ego.
Yes.
I call it the deceiver, the story mind.
Yeah.
And so that baggage can be pretty heavy. For me, it was a lot of psychological and physical bullying and abuse. And I come out of my childhood knowing I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable, I don't fit in, I'm not a part of the team, I'm not going to be called upon to get up on stage and get the award, I'm not going to succeed. And so we tend to live up to our story. We believe it so much, we perform that way.
Yeah.
This is my script. I'm not going to succeed. And if I get close to succeeding, I'll sabotage it to prove I can't succeed. And that's staying with the script.
Yeah.
And this amount of pain and baggage, I think every person alive comes to what I call their first addiction. And that's blame. Some people never get out of blame.
That's true.
And it's an addiction because it says, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. I'm not at fault. It's you. It's my school. It's my church. It's the Boy Scout leaders. It's the summer camp counselors. They hurt me. They're the ones at fault. My trauma's at fault. My disorder is at fault. My diagnosis is at fault. It's not really me.
Yeah.
And I'll have experts tell me it's not really me. And so we're swimming in a world where we're not taking responsibility for ourselves. I say to people, look, trauma happened 50 years ago. It was a real event, a moment in time. How did it get here?
Yeah.
How did it arrive here with me today? Well, I must have been the one who picked it up, said, this is what it means to me. I feel this pain. Now I'm going to put it in this bag, throw it over my shoulder, and walk with it.
Yeah.
I'm the one who brings it. I'm the one who protects it. I'm the one who loves it and takes care of it and keeps it alive. Not the event.
It's because our trauma can sometimes, not sometimes, almost all the time, shape the identity of who we believe we are because of that. Yeah.
This is the association.
Yeah.
I attach to my trauma, and I am told all the time, that is me. It's a psychic wound. Yeah. As if they could open up my head and on my brain would be a scar.
Right.
Of course there isn't.
No, but it is true that, I'm a huge proponent of saying if you were in a car accident and you broke a couple of legs, you're going to have to take quite some time to heal that and rehabilitate that. And when we go through trauma or heartbreak or grief, people don't realize that those wounds take at least 10 times longer to heal than a physical wound.
Right.
And they don't take the time to look at it, to feel it. And so it's suppressed. And with that suppressed energy, it's constantly coming up to the forefront for you to look at, to see, to feel, and accept. And if you don't, you just pull it into the next experience. And I think people get stuck in that cycle. And obviously you did too for a good part of your life.
Right. Up until I got interrupted by that year. And the interruption was big enough that I looked at my story, my identified self, and there it was, burned to the ground.
Yeah.
In ashes. There was nothing left. There wasn't something for me to recover. There wasn't something for me to heal.
Yeah.
It was gone. And that was a psychic break.
Yeah.
Because I got lucky again. And a guy on a podcast talking about fluffy, foo-foo consciousness, which is how I saw it at the time.
Right.
He says one line. He says, show me yesterday.
Ooh.
That was it. My brain went, the rational brain said, what is yesterday? Where is it? It's my entire identity. Mm-hmm. Everything I believe about me is yesterday. Where is it?
Yeah.
I could not get up, go to a filing cabinet, pull out yesterday and go, look, Joanna, what do you think of my yesterday? There's no physical thing. There's no object. There's no
No.
reality in this moment. It cannot exist.
Right.
So it cannot be real. So it is only my belief in a story that has caused me to get to the edge of suicide.
Yeah.
Just because I believed a story. And then I look around, and people who commit suicide do so because of a story they believe.
Yes.
Human beings join armies and go to war and kill each other for a story they believe. You're wrong, I'm right, you're bad, I'm good. I'm afraid of you. And it's fanned by politicians who are what? Insecure, fearful, trying to show their power.
They're trying to control, and so they have to keep people in fear and division in order to control.
For their own fear and insecurity.
Yeah.
We are all this same being doing this same dance to stories we believe are our reality.
Yeah.
And they're not. And as soon as my mind, it took about 3 months of rolling this around in my head. Show me yesterday. What's the truth of my story? On and on and on. And all of a sudden, it was like light bulbs just went on everywhere. And everything vanished. There was suddenly no fear, no insecurity. I have no trouble, no problem, no regret from the past because it's not real to me anymore. No anxiety about the future because I'm only alive right here. That's fantasy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was just happy, peaceful. Yeah. Everything was gone. And I'm 2 years into this now, and still I wake up in the morning laughing and stunned of the simplicity that we could all walk into. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I love that. To say to people, there is a simplicity to life. It is not this big, complicated movie, screen, drama, Netflix we're watching. That's a fake.
Yeah.
We have been educated to believe it. We built a story up around us that says it's true. And it's not.
Well, and there's also a societal belief that things have to be hard, that you have to work hard for money, that you have to work hard for success, that relationships are hard, life is hard. And that makes it so that people don't buy into the fact that everything is actually very simple. It's a choice in what and into what you believe, what you speak, how you live, how you experience life. It's all a simple choice.
Yeah, that hard is learned because we start in fear and insecurity.
Yeah.
And so to medicate our pain, the ego says, want things.
Yes.
Everything is external. If I get you to love me, I'm going to be happy. If I get that car, I'm going to be happy. When I get through high school, I graduate, I go on to university, I build a business, I find my wife, my house, have my kids raised up. They're all external achievements of want. And so our whole life is in this want that can never end. There is no end to wanting.
And there's nothing wrong with having desire.
No, but the desire should be in being, living, doing it. See, the wanting is when I get there. Yes. That's the problem with goals. We think it's when we get there, we're going to be this great person or happy or stronger, better, faster, whatever. The difference is being here right now and being absolutely thrilled with doing it.
Right.
The steps it takes to reach the goal happen only right now.
It's about enjoying the journey.
Yeah. You're doing the work. You're doing, not achieving, because it doesn't matter where you get to. That takes care of itself.
Yeah.
It's the work is the only thing you have control over is now.
Well, and this has been coming up a lot lately, is your state of being is the only thing that creates reality. Your circumstances don't create anything. It's only a state of being that can create. And I think that's the shift that people really need to have drilled into their subconscious, is that you think, and we've seen this in the world, right? You think if I successfully achieve X, Y, and Z, or a certain amount of money, that's when then I will feel a certain way. And people can hustle and will their way to those achievements. But I know a lot of people who are millionaires who are miserable.
Absolutely.
That are not happy. People who win the lottery and blow it all because they don't believe they're worthy, And
Yeah.
so it's a matter of understanding that you have to find peace and happiness in the now moment, because when you do, you can't control your circumstances. You can't control what happened to you, but you can control your state of being. And when you realize everything's happening for your benefit and you get a choice on how to experience this life, that's what's actually going to create the life that you actually desire. And the outcome won't even really matter anymore because you've already achieved the state of being that you were seeking.
Yeah. I say you will never find anything. You will uncover what you
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
And what you are is beauty, love, and happiness.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the simplicity.
And you're worthy and enough just because you exist, because if you weren't, you would not exist.
Your story and your ego are scared to death of happiness. That's why they lead you through pleasure.
Yeah. That's
Something
true.
we call happiness or a happy place. You talk to anyone, you will find out very quickly they're talking about what pleases them.
Yeah.
A pleasure found by a desire, maybe even a passion. But the happiness is not something you can seek because it is what you are.
Yes.
The pleasure is a diversion.
Yeah.
If I get enough pleasure, I'll be okay. That's the addiction. That's the drug.
And I call that chasing the dragon, because once you have it, you keep chasing it to sustain it. Because if you find happiness in the now moment, regardless of your circumstances, you're not chasing anything. You are it. And so that's the difference but I think that has a lot to do, again, with societal programming, how somebody was raised and all of that. So when was the moment? Was it at the edge of suicide? What happened when you were on that edge of suicide that kind of shifted you to one, not go through with it? And two, what happened that led you? Was it just that podcast, just hearing that man ask that question?
Oh no, that
kind of opened the door. Yeah.
That took a few months for me to digest that.
Yeah.
What saved me from suicide, however words you want to use, was the serendipity of the feeling of complete emptiness, the feeling of nothing, the abyss of no feeling is the most horrible feeling you can have. And when I'm there, and then rationally, I say rationally, not irrationally, saying, I'm going to end this. I don't need this.
Yeah.
There is no reason to keep going through this much pain. To me, that's quite rational.
Yeah.
Although society says, oh, it's sick, you're sick, it's irrational. I don't think so. But the serendipity was that feeling of emptiness. My brain went, hang on a second. About a year and a half ago, you had a bout of depression. And it felt identical to this. The empty, nothing, feeling less. Numb,
that's apathy. That's when
terrible feeling. And I went and associated it, and I went, this isn't suicide, I'm thinking. This is a bout of depression. Killing myself isn't going to... Oh, no, that was wrong. I've got it wrong. So I just fluked out by associating it with depression. And that saved me from ending my life, because I realized, I don't need to. That's not what this is.
What a simple shift in perspective. Like that's wild, because when you think about it, I need you guys to hear me when I say this. Like, the smallest shift in perspective in a different direction can change your entire life. And that is an imperfect example of that.
I say to everyone, everything big is actually small.
Yes.
We are little.
Yeah.
We are simple little beings, and we create everything so big that we try to live in this bigness. And what are we? Confused, struggling, angry, upset, worried, stressed, because we're not supposed to be there. No, we're supposed to be saying, I love you. You love me. Yeah. Life is great. And that's it.
The
Enjoy
God, this
it.
the spirit guides often tell me that the word stressed is no different than like distressed jeans. You're making something bigger
Yeah.
than it is or worse than it is. You're stretching it out, and that's all that stress is. You're taking something that's small and insignificant, and it may feel significant in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, it's generally insignificant, and
To,
you're making it bigger and wasting your energy on it.
to the point that I now see depression is not an illness, it's a wake up call. It is your nervous system that says, I am so overloaded with stress and worry, anxiety, trauma, all
Yeah.
these things that I have to suppress the feelings, depress them down
Yeah, I mean look at the word.
so you don't hurt yourself
Yeah.
anymore. I am suppressing all this pain so you don't hurt yourself more. It's a
Yeah.
wake up call.
Yeah.
It's not an illness. And that's
It's
what the suicidal moment went, hold it. This is the
yeah.
lights trying to go on. This is the
Yeah.
siren trying to get into my ear and say, wake up. You're sleepwalking towards disaster.
Yeah. Sometimes suicide comes about from people who are going through an ego death as
Yeah.
well. So when you go
Yeah.
through an ego death, that's when, and it's similar to you, like, but everything usually rises up, and it can stem from a bout of depression, but it can't be depressed anymore. And so it
Right.
starts to rise up because you're overflowing at this point, right? And that energy is coming to the front of your heart, asking you to look at it, accept it, because it is a version of you. You are accepting a version of you. Whatever you judge it as, it's wanting you to say, will you love me in this form? Will you accept what is? Will you look at this? Will you feel this? And sometimes that pain is so dramatic. But in addition to that, there is a fear of losing oneself because they are so wrapped up in the identity of the story from their trauma that that ego death is, it literally feels like death. As someone who's been through, I can't tell you how many ego deaths, there have been ones where I wanted to self delete because that's exactly what it felt like. And so I'm always a big proponent of saying and telling people that, because it might save a life to realize that in those moments, it's not you wanting to die. It's a version of you that you have held on to for way too long that is ready to rest in peace. It doesn't want to keep going.
And isn't it funny? We use the words rest in peace as death.
Yeah,
Why don't we use them as life?
right.
If you could rest in peace, you would have won. It's
Yeah,
you're done. So
exactly.
it's like die in your life, that ego,
Yeah.
that wanting, that
Uh-huh.
achieving, and be rest in peace.
Yeah.
I take the depression further and say, because I didn't answer the call, what does depression do secondarily? It expresses itself in the physical body. Disease.
Yes.
What did I get? Cancer.
Yeah.
My
And that
second wake up call.
cancer, I always say cancer is attachments, it's shame, it's guilt, and it's a growth,
Absolutely.
a growth of poison.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you are poisoning the body.
Yes.
You see, that's what depression is trying to warn you, saying you are over poisoning the
Yeah.
body. I'm trying to stop you.
And it's
And if
telling you
you
to
don't,
rest and face yourself.
yeah, the hardest thing in the world, because
It is.
we don't want to take real responsibility.
Yeah.
We want to keep some out there. I say, you can't put down your emotional baggage because you haven't first taken ownership of the baggage.
Yeah.
You can only put something down that you own.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I owned it and realized it was just me, not the event years ago,
Yeah.
not the events of the past, it was me who had to carry it.
Right.
Once I owned that, I could take the bags to the curb like the garbage and walk away.
Yeah.
Just like that, as easy as that. I didn't heal my addiction to alcohol. I just walked away from it because I no longer needed the medicine.
It's like you had, and this is some of the work that I'm actively doing right now with a lot of my community, is learning how to identity shift or identity shed, really. And it's like in that moment, you literally just had a full-on identity shift. You said, I'm no longer resonating with that story and that character, and I'm going to be somebody different. And because you made that internal decision, it seems like it made it really easy for you to not go through withdrawals or struggle with alcohol after that, or anything like that. It feels like a knowing happened inside of you, and everything just shifted right away when that happened, because
Yeah,
you believed that, like, you had every part of your body was like, yes, that's true, and boom,
yeah,
shift.
yeah. First, I'd say I go with shed, not shift, because I don't believe I identify anymore. I don't have an identity.
Well, everybody
I'm
has
just
an
a being.
identity
I'm
because,
just a being.
yeah, yes, but in order to have a human experience, there is a role that you play, and it may be the most authentic identity, but our personality and our identity is a part of the human experience. So that's why I call it identity shift, because you're
Yeah.
shifting into the most authentic version of you.
And the other side of that is I didn't choose
Yeah.
to accept this. It just was uncovered that it was the truth.
Hmm.
There was no choice. And that's right. I've had a lot of work in the addiction community
Yeah.
about recovery and healing. And I say there is nothing to recover. Recover is like gaining something back you once
Right.
had. And I say no.
You can't
There's
do that. You're never going to
nothing.
be the same person.
Yeah. If you recover yourself, you're the person that caused all the trouble.
Hmm.
Like I'll say to people, the big line today is believe in yourself. And I say, no, do not believe in yourself if the self you believe in is this story that has been hurting you. Why would you want to believe more in that thing? That's recovery. Don't
Yeah,
believe it.
but what do you, so that could really confuse people, because I say you should believe in yourself, but it's not about, it's about recognizing what self you're believing in, because
Exactly.
you're always believing in something, because believing is seeing. So if you're always believing in something, the same thing can be said about confidence and trust. You're always trusting in something, you're always confident in something. So it's not that you ever lack trust, lack belief, lack confidence. It's like, what are you believing in? What version of you do you believe is the truest you? What is the thing that you actually trust? What is the thing that you're actually confident in? And it may be that you're not worthy. It may be, that you are this sad, broken person that was traumatized. So I just
And
wanted to
that's
add that
the
in,
self.
because I don't want people to think, oh, I shouldn't believe in myself. But it's a matter of what version of you are you believing in? Are you believing that you're a divine being of love, right? Or are you
That's my
believing
whole
in
point.
the victim story?
It's the story that you're
Yeah.
believing in that we identify as me
Yeah.
was the problem that led to everything.
Right.
So I cannot just believe in myself.
Yeah.
I have to create either a new self, an identity, a new story, or not have to attach to a story.
Yes.
You just allow life to be.
Yeah.
I say we've had 100 years of personal development, the self-help industry, 100 years of goal setting and trying to achieve. And 75 years ago, Stanford University does a study on people who write down goals, figure out steps and everything. About 95% fail.
Right.
And today, the stat is identical.
Yeah.
So we are believing in a self that doesn't believe in the goal. And that's the fight. The foundation of the house doesn't change. We just paint the walls, we get new appliances, we get a new roof and windows, and we think we're improving and fixing. But we're trying to put this on top of this story we haven't dealt with.
Right.
That's where the problem happens. That's the self, not
Yeah.
what's possible, not
Yeah.
what's attainable. It's the foundation that you haven't really changed. And so I'm working on my goals. I used to have vision boards and I'm trudging forward, but a little voice in my head's going, you're not going to do it. Take the day off. Let's have some chips and some ice cream and watch a movie instead. Wouldn't that be more fun? And that is the foundation. That's the story mind creeping in to cause the failure.
Mm-hmm.
And that self we identify as is the problem we shouldn't
Right.
believe in.
Yes.
Because you can, as you're saying, create yourself now,
Yes.
not the self you were and you identified as.
Well, I mean, you change versions of you multiple times a day You know,
Exactly.
you're never the same person ever. You're constantly evolving. And I agree with you. Our words are powerful. And I never understood
Yeah.
as a child of a family of alcoholics, I never understood the word I'm a recovering alcoholic when people would say
Exactly.
that because I always thought, well, then aren't you always going to be in recovery or we're trying to recover? How about you just shift to I'm sober?
See, that's an attachment.
Yeah.
They're
Because they're
holding on.
identifying with the version of them that was an alcoholic and they're
That's
trying
right.
to still not be that person.
They're not really letting go. There is no struggle if you
Mm-mm.
let go.
No.
There's only a struggle because you hang on to it like it's an award. I see people
Right.
online, 15 years sober.
Right.
And I'm thinking, why would they be holding up a badge of honor about it? What
Right.
for? Because they haven't really let go.
Well, no, and then
They're
some
still
people,
struggling with it.
and then people shift from identifying as an alcoholic to shifting to a sober person, when honestly, none of that really matters. It's just a personal choice.
Right.
Right. But, you know, people are where they are. And,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, you gotta let them, you gotta let them be where they are. But it is very true. And that's why I'm another thing that I'm a big proponent of is be very aware of the words that you speak because what you speak will come about, right? The words you speak
Well,
will create in your reality. And so if you're constantly saying that, that's you're reinforcing that old story.
yeah, you manifest your life every
Yeah.
day of your life.
By who you are. You only can manifest who you are. You can never manifest anything else.
I think it's who you believe you are.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, whoever
And
you
that's
are
where the
right
story
now,
mind, that's
yeah,
where the story mind keeps creeping in
yeah,
and sabotaging you
yeah,
because you believe the who, not the
yeah,
what. Who you are is a story. What you are is this love, beauty, and
yeah,
happiness that you can let life happen and it's going to be great.
yeah.
That's
But that
what
would
you
require
are.
people to let go of control and to be willing to embrace uncertainty, which is honestly another word for adventure because it's just an adventure. This is all this is. It's an experience.
It's also the attachment to memory.
Yeah.
Because we are so yesterday,
Yeah.
we believe our memories. I
Yes.
don't believe my memories anymore. And I
Well, your
can
memories
prove,
change so much over time. Like think about this, like how many times have you told a story and you're going to tell it and it's kind of changed a little bit, you know? Your story is you're always remembering whatever lens of perspective you are today telling a past story, that story has now changed because you're telling it differently because you're not the same person. So if that's the case, which it is, that's a neuroscience right there, is like, hey, if I can actually tell a different story, why don't I really tell a different story?
yeah, it's not just tell, but believe.
Yeah.
Believe a different story.
Yeah.
Okay, I say to people, it's like you sit down in a theater at the start of the movie, it says based on actual events.
Yeah.
That's your memories.
Yeah.
They're based on
I
something that
love you
maybe
said that.
happened. They're
That is so
based on it.
true.
They're just based on it. They are not all the details. I sit down with my two sisters and three brothers and we talk about a memory from childhood.
Yeah.
We all have a different story.
Yeah. Different.
We
Yeah.
all
Because you're
have a
all different
different
perspective.
understanding. How could that be
Yeah.
if we all experience the same event? There would only be one story.
Yeah.
The reality is, it wasn't real for us. It was just our imagined take on it,
Yeah. It was how you
our
saw it through
movie.
your lens. Yeah.
So why would you want to believe something that hurts you?
Yeah.
That's just a belief in a memory that memories aren't real.
Yeah.
Tell me your day 2 years ago today. Tell me your entire day.
Yeah, I couldn't.
What?
I mean, I could probably look it up
90%,
in my journal and tell you, but I wouldn't. I don't have a memory of it, no.
90% of our life or more, we can't remember right
Yeah.
now. So why would we put so much faith in an event that happened years ago and we think we're so badly hurt by that it can destroy us today? That is just believing it's
Yeah.
true. That's not
Yeah.
having any evidence.
Well, and I always tell people if you are stressed, fear, uncertain, anxious, whatever it is, whatever's going on in your life, if there's any kind of story that comes up around the event that's taking place, like this morning, I don't even remember what it was about, but I heard a story in my head as I was walking into my office, And I literally just said out loud, oh no, that's a memory from the past. And that's it. Because, and then it just died because you can only achieve this though. And I'll be interested in your perspective of how you work with it because not most people don't wake up one day and just have a shift like you did. It takes time and consistency and practice, but it begins with self-awareness. So when you become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, then you have the moment to say, oh, is that actually serving me? Does that feel good to believe? And if it doesn't, you just have to say, oh, I don't have to believe this. That's a possibility, sure. But there's also this possibility. Or you have to be willing to say, oh, that's a nervous system response from an old memory because I'm in similar circumstances, but I'm not there. I'm not in the same situation as a child that I was or whenever the event happened. That's my ego going through the algorithm of the past going, this is a time when we felt this is exact way, and this is the story that presented that day. And then you have a choice. Do you want to believe that or do you want to go, hey, that's a memory of the past and I'm not going to bring that into my future? That's how I approach it every day. How do you approach it? Obviously, you probably don't have that problem anymore, but how do you teach people to approach it?
Remember the first day of grade one? We all were sitting in our class in our new desk. We're fidgeting, excited, scared, anticipating, all these emotions rushing, that energy. Almost everybody can sense that in themselves right now when they think about that first day in grade one. What happens? The secret for your whole life is given to you a few minutes after your teacher walks in, and we all missed it. The teacher didn't even know they were doing it. And here's what happened. Teacher walks to the front of the class and goes, attention class, attention, number one. Number two, Johanna, present. Dallas, present. What just happened? You were called to attention and asked to be present. These are the fundamental keys to life outside of the story mind.
Yeah.
To be present and in attention.
Yeah.
When your brain is attending to something and you are present in the act, your work, cooking a meal, whatever it is, when you are in attention, your brain does not allow your mind, the story, the ego, to show up.
No, it doesn't.
It can't be present.
Mm-mm.
This is why what you just said about you caught yourself having a thought.
Yeah.
Thoughts arise from the story.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in attention and say, oh, that thought that just says you are a dummy, that's just a thought. It's not real.
Yeah.
And as soon as you take your attention off it, it dissolves.
Yeah.
It cannot live without you paying attention.
No.
So
and
the great key, the great tool is to learn to be in attention.
Yeah. To be present.
Not sleepwalking in our habits, our routines. Joanna drives home from work on Thursday night, dead tired. She walks into the kitchen, slaps the keys down on the counter, and the sound of the keys wakes Joanna up. And the first thing she does is go, I don't even remember driving the car.
Yeah.
I don't remember driving it home at all. How is this possible? That is that mind, that story, that routine, the habitual nature of us, how we go through our day.
Yeah.
Like memory,
yeah,
we can't even reproduce. It just happens. And so in attention, you are here.
Yeah.
That's the great secret. Wake up.
Yeah.
Is be in attention. Otherwise, we're sleepwalking.
It's definitely, I've noticed, difficult for people to be in the present moment. It is,
Yes.
And it is a practice. It took me quite a while to achieve that ability. But when you understand that when you're not present, your consciousness is fragmented across different versions of you, across different dimensional fields. You don't have a lot of energy or the power or resources to be in the moment because you're so fragmented, and it can cause exhaustion, it can cause confusion, it can cause memory loss, it can cause a whole lot of things. But when you are present, all of your conscious awareness is in that now moment. And even though we say this all the time, and I know people have heard this, but it's like The now moment is the only moment that exists because everything's happening simultaneously. So it's a continuation of constant now moments.
Yeah,
So there's no point of worrying about the future because you're going to create the future by what you do in this moment right now. And the
absolutely.
past can only repeat itself if you pull it forward, you
Right.
know? And so the thing that I always like to remind people of is the brain doesn't actually hold on to anything. It's merely a receiver. And so
It's
you
a,
are
I,
receiving from different versions of you and their stories. The same way we scroll or have a cloud of data, it's just moving by and you get to choose, that looks true for me, and then download it into you and play it out in your life. And that's literally the how it works, you know?
yeah, I separate brain and mind
Yeah.
by saying your brain has no memory.
No, it doesn't.
It experiences and it takes skills, tools,
Yeah.
techniques, observations from the experience and it stores it
Yeah.
so that you can, oh, I know how to cook that dish. I've done it before. I use
Yeah.
the tool. I don't have to remember. The
Right.
brain just has all the apps. It's like an app store.
Yep.
The
Exactly.
mind, the mind is the story,
Yeah.
the ego, the deception.
The one that's creating, that's the thing, is the mind uses the information stored in your nervous system, information stored in your field from things that have happened, and it uses those ingredients to create a story. But
Yeah,
knowing that means that you can also create whatever story you want. You don't have to buy into the automatic story that was created for you.
right. And that's the observing when you're in your brain.
Yeah.
Because well, people say to me, I work with people who say, I've got this problem, this problem, this problem. And then you ask them to turn on their brain and use their rational, logical, and look at it. All of them know that these fears, insecurities, anxieties aren't rational.
Yeah.
Even the person having them can look at it from their brain and say, yeah, I know it's not, but they run into the story. But this is
Well,
my
that story
security
has
blanket.
that story has energy behind it because there's
Yeah,
feeling that they haven't felt. And so that feeling, right? The emotion is energy in motion. So if they have an emotion that they have suppressed that's attached to that event, it's going to be infused in that story. And that's why people believe it. And that's why I believed it, is because of the amount of energy that's behind it or infused in it.
and it's energy we've put into it.
Yes.
Because if you're 50, you've spent 50 years acting and believing as your story. Do you
Yes.
think you can just change it like that? That's why you can at the same time use a rational brain and say, oh, that story's silly. It's not true.
Yeah.
And yet the comfort, because you've been doing it for so long, all your energy and warmth, in my worst pain, I would still learn to be comfortable in it.
Yeah.
I can be hurting, but at least I know how to handle it. I'll get through. I can do it again today. And that's what
Yeah.
kept me in that story, no
Yeah.
matter the pain. Even though the rational brain could say, buddy, you're being an idiot. It's not real. But the story's going, yeah, but who listens to you?
Right.
This is where I'm living. This is this fight that goes on. It's like the cartoon where kids with the devil and the angel pop up on the shoulder, whispering in the character's ear. That's almost like the brain and the story.
Yeah.
The story is somehow evil. It's what puts us in these narratives. And the brain is this rational angel
Yeah.
that says, hey, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You're fine. Every day you worry about the end of the world. What happens when you wake up? There you are.
Right.
Everything's fine. And we just create this drama. And we look around the world today and we are seeing huge drama being played out.
Oh yeah,
All with the
the world
backdrop.
stage is like a reality show. They just love to create drama.
And all with the same backdrop of
Yeah.
fear and insecurity.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Hmm.
You're afraid and you don't feel secure.
Yeah.
So if you love me, I'll be secure. If I get this thing, I'll be secure. If everything works out my way, you know, I say I don't use gratitude anymore, only appreciation.
I'm the same way because I feel like gratitude is,
External.
yeah, it's like if it could be worse, right? Well, I'm grateful because it could be this or whatever. Where appreciation is like I appreciate sunsets, sunrises, the ocean, things I can't create, things that I can only admire. And so I agree with that because I always say I prefer to use the word appreciation as well.
Yeah, to me, gratitude is an attachment. I'm
Okay.
grateful for this thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, no, no. I appreciate what this thing is, me.
Yes.
I'm not grateful because I got that one that was
Right.
recognized. Yeah, that's gratitude. It's external.
Yeah.
Appreciation is the internal where we
Yeah.
have to be to find ourselves.
And what you appreciate appreciates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It explodes
Yeah.
because it becomes your reality and you start to believe and go, holy crap, this has been hiding here in me all this time, covered up
Yes.
by an imaginary story. And this was always here waiting for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't find happiness. You uncover it. It's in you
Yeah.
already.
Well,
You
and
won.
happiness isn't necessarily a constant state. Emotions are never meant to be constant. And so a lot of people who are seeking happiness, I'm like, how about you seek peace first and that you allow yourself to experience the moments of happiness because you're not always going to be happy, but you can always be at peace. So if you're going to try to uncover or achieve a constant state of being, let it be peace.
Yeah. And for me, if you're peaceful, you're happy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's
You're
like there's nothing to complain about, you know. You're just enjoying the moment and allowing life to move through you, and that's the whole point of this experience anyway.
And there's the great moment. There is nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
What we complain about, we are creating.
And it also shows where you feel like your needs aren't met. I always say complaints are where you believe your needs aren't met. And so when you look at it that way, you are creating it, but you say, "Oh, what is the need that's not being met here? And how can I meet that dang need?"
Yeah. It's the expectation that something outside of me is going
Yep.
to meet my need.
Yep,
Only
exactly.
I will. You
Yeah.
can't make me happy. You can't make me mad. You can't make me sad or happy. I
Yep.
have to accept those things, be those things, produce those things in myself.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
That's this fantasy, the externalizing that in you I will find something.
Yes.
It's not. We will share love, beauty, happiness with each other. We don't give it, we share it. It's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that energy, when we are in the same field together, we just feel good. We don't have to say why or the reasons or anything.
Right.
We just are.
Yeah.
And you sometimes are around people and you just relax and feel good.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything. They
No.
don't have to tell you anything.
Mm-mm.
That's the reality of happiness.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're giddy laughing. It means
No.
you've got that calm, peaceful heart.
Yeah.
That beauty, that love is in us always.
Yeah. My favorite friendships are the ones where we can be in the same room and just be there and not have to fill the space.
Exactly.
We don't
Exactly.
have that nervous energy of I got to talk, I have to do something, I have to say something,
Right.
I have to perform, I have to entertain, and we can just sit and be like in the same room in silence and not feel the urge to fill the space. And
Yeah.
that just shows, like for me, that's resonance with somebody because we're both in a regulated state and we're both in that state of peace. And
And
so
you're experiencing fear and insecurity dissolving.
yes,
So the ego isn't there to defend your fear and insecurity. And
exactly.
so you're just happy and enjoying.
Yeah.
And we all have these moments.
Yes, everybody
People go,
does.
how are you? I don't understand. How do you see this moment? How do you get there? I'll say, do you ever show up on a beach and the ocean and the waves and the mist and just have a moment of, wow, that's it?
That's it. Exactly.
You're not trying to make it something. You're not trying to label it. You're just taking it in and going, wow. You hike in a forest and you just have
Yeah.
a moment of, wow, calm, happy, beauty, love. That's what it is. We
That
all
was
have these
actually
moments.
That was actually one of my tools where when I was going through a lot of my deep healing was when I was struggling to access that feeling, that frequency.
Yeah.
I would go to the ocean and float.
Yeah.
I would go watch a sunset or sunrise or go hike in the forest because I knew that those things would immediately shift me into an energy of appreciation, peace, and just presence because I was surrounded by such majesty and beauty. And so it's important for people to find that moment, be aware of that moment when they have that feeling. Because once you do and you have that feeling, at any moment in time, you can now access and recall that energy and that feeling and help you shift back into it. And if you're struggling to do that, then you know the things that you can actionably do to help invoke that state of being and help shift you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is ageless.
100%.
At 10 years old, I walked down onto a wharf on a lake where I would stay many summers. Warm summer evening, late at night, let my sleeping bag down, lie down, look up at the stars, and just, wow.
Yeah.
Well, at 65 years old, I walk down that wharf, lie down there, look up at the stars, and wow. It's the same feeling at 10 years old as 60 years old. There's no time to this.
No.
Your essential self doesn't age. It's just this physical body and this movie you're in that is flying around crazy and doing everything.
Yeah.
And that place, at the ocean for you, or whatever it is for someone, you can always go there. It's always waiting for you. It has no reason to let you in or not. It's always there. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
That is our beauty, our love, our happiness. You look into a brand new baby's face, and every human being sees the same thing. They say beauty, love, and happiness. That's all they see. They don't see the story or the identity of this baby.
No, because there is none yet. They're pure.
It's just a being. Well, I took that to its limit. My mother died 4 or 5 months ago. 2 hours before she died, I looked into her face, and what do I see? Same as the baby's face. I see beauty and love, and I feel happiness, not sadness, not grief and loss. It's a life. It's beautiful. And it was the same feeling. That's the wharf. That's the stars. That's the ocean.
Yeah.
That's what we are. And if you can go in there, man, all the drama and everything just dissolves. You realize how unimportant all this stuff you think is. You talk to people as they age, and we all go through the same thing between sort of 50 and 75. And we begin to look at it and go, you know, all that stuff, it wasn't really that important, was it? You know, all that, it really wasn't that big. Every elderly person start to see that it's really quite simple and not important. And they get to the same place. I just want to spend more time with friends and family. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That's the baby. That's my mother. That's what real life is. That simplicity of just being together.
Yeah.
And in love and happy. Exploring that beauty of life.
The guides like to say reality isn't real. You know, this is all a dream, but your experience of reality is what's real.
Yes.
And you are in control, whether you recognize it or not, of your experience and how you choose to view anything that's happening in your life. Because no, you don't, we do co-creation. And so there are things that we don't create, that circumstances that we just, circumstances come about or we experience something, but it's in how you respond, how you choose to experience it, that is the real part. And that, that's why you don't have to choose to suffer.
I put it as all experience has no meaning. Nothing that has ever happened to you came with a meaning. You had to experience it and then give it a meaning, which created a feeling in you. The emotion, the electrical energy, all stem from the meaning you gave it.
Yes.
The event is just an event.
You assigned the meaning.
The forest is just a forest, but when you walk in it, you give it meaning to yourself and you get a feeling and you feel good or bad or scared because of the forest or happy, but you created it, not the event, not the experience.
No, because the circumstances don't create nothing.
Exactly. And this is where I think there's a lot of loss here, that we think what happens to us decides everything. And I say that has almost no meaning.
It's
What
funny.
you do with what happens.
Think about how many I've seen so many interviews with homeless people who choose to stay on the street, right? I don't like
Yeah.
call them homeless, houseless people.
Yeah.
They choose it because they're like, why would I go back? I don't have overhead. I'm pretty happy. I'm living in the moment. My needs are always met. They find a way to get their needs met and they're free. So yes, there's people on the streets that are addicted to drugs or who, are bad people, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of them today, whether you want to call them the homeless or even people who are more nomadic, that are just living from a space of this now moment and don't need anything to be a certain way to live a happy life. And I've met some very happy homeless people.
I drank every day after work at the same pub with the same buddy for about 15 straight years.
Oh, wow.
And he went down that path. He ended up on the street, and fentanyl, and 100 diagnosed mental disorders,
Fentanyl's bad news.
terrible addiction. And he was one of those zombies, bent over on the
Yeah,
side of the road.
those exist.
Yeah. And I figured, oh, he's just died. He's gone. And I went through my year of collapse and what I went through. Well, maybe 2 years later, I'm in a coffee shop and sitting in the corner reading a book is him.
Really?
I'm stunned. I mean, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. So I go over and I go, my God, almost laughing like, oh, I thought you were dead. And we start telling each other our story
Yeah.
of what we've gone through. I tell him mine, and he's, yeah, cool. He tells me his. And his is a very traditional story. A street preacher caught his attention. He began listening. He began getting up and going to meetings. He joined the church. His disorders dissolved. His addiction went away. And he would say, I was saved by God, by religion, by Jesus, right? This is a very traditional story of saving, of rebirth. And we talked and we both came to the same conclusion. We had both lived with a traumatic, horrible horror movie of a story mind that brought us both to the edge of death. I chose to leave my story.
Yeah.
He chose a new story.
Yeah.
A story that supported him in a loving community, that he felt cared for him, and he could then stand up again.
Yeah.
So it was just the power of belief, whether it's religious belief or the freedom belief of knowing it's not anything to worry about.
Right.
It is just us believing or not believing in stories. Every argument we have with another person is arguing based on something about our story.
Yeah.
I say there's 8 billion chefs in the world. We're all cooking the same dish, but every dish comes out smelling a little different, tasting a little different, maybe looking a little different. And instead of saying, wow, isn't it beautiful that we all have a little bit of difference, but we're all doing the same thing? Instead of that, our story, our ego says, yours is different. Yours is wrong. Mine's better. Yours is worse. You're bad. I'm good. And we instantly have this argument over the same story.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to pretend we're special. We're the one unique individual. And we're really a part of this collective story of beauty and love and happiness if we'll allow it.
Well, it comes back to what you said earlier, the insecurity. People feel threatened if they're wrong, And I always say, like, there's the whole truth, and everybody's truth is true, but it's only because they're all seeing it from a different lens of perception or perspective based upon their beliefs, their limitations, their trauma. And so everything is true, but there is no one truth. It's just everything is true. It's all the same truth, just looked at from a different perspective. And when you understand that, that's this understanding I've had well before my awakening. And it always allowed me to be very open-minded. And I could have conversations with people that I didn't necessarily agree with, and we could have a healthy debate. And there were times where what they said opened my mind even more and allowed me to go, okay, I can see your perspective. I still align with mine, but I can actually see your perspective. I can see
Right.
who you are and why you identify that way, and it makes sense for me. And so that's awesome. I now know you a little bit better. And if people approached life that way, God, the world would be so much more peaceful.
I think if we could see, you know, there's so much discussion around what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose in this life? And I truly believe each and every one of us already knows.
Yeah.
We knew from the beginning. Well, what do you mean? And I said, well, we just want to be happy. That's all we want. And if you think like you take any parent and, you know, final analysis, what do you want for your child? After doctor, lawyer, you know, something, a great athlete, what is it you really want for your child?
To
I
be
just
happy.
want them to be healthy and happy.
Yeah.
We all want the same thing. Is the meaning of life happiness? Is the purpose to uncover that we are that happiness?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not complex.
Yeah. It's
Everything
not.
around it we have created in this story, this movie that we think we are, that we have identified as.
Yeah.
The who, not the what.
Right. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that.
Cool. Then our work is done here.
So when did your wife pass away?
My wife didn't pass away.
Oh, she didn't? I thought it said that you lost your wife.
Well, I lost my family, my wife, my
Oh,
house, my business, everything that was me and my story, I lost.
okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
It was only me that almost ended my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was all part of the year of collapse as well, that everything went away.
All in 1 year. That all happened during a pandemic.
Yeah.
I look at that as being really lucky because there was no time to be hurt by it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It was such a big car wreck that it was just, holy crap, staggering away and going, whoa, I better do something different.
Yeah.
I didn't even have time to look at it and go, that could have been, I mean, how much trauma would you want in your life? To go through those 6 crises in 1 year? I mean, one of them sometimes destroys a person.
Right.
I was lucky that I went through all of them at once because then there was no time to absorb the impact.
Right.
It was just, holy crap, I made it.
Right.
I'm safe. I'm okay.
Yeah. I was not that lucky. I also was hit with more things at one time than most people go through in their lifetime. And it took me down for quite a bit, but obviously I made it through and I'm on the other side of it. And now I tell the story and I use the story. I've written books about my story. But it's also telling that story. And I do it like that, it's that story. But now I'm able to say, I'm grateful those things happened because
exactly
of what it allowed me to realize about myself. It led me to the truth. And I had to go through that, to go through the shedding of all the density, all the programming, all the beliefs that were never mine to begin with. Because Spirit always says, if you're carrying things that are heavy, it's not yours. Your baggage, your own personal baggage that you come in with, if you want to call it that, weighs nothing.
Yeah.
When you're carrying programming and beliefs that were projected onto you, that you accepted as part of you, that becomes heavy. And so I had to go through years of shedding and delayering and uncovering the truth of who I was. And I was pretty much buried alive. So it took me a little bit longer. But what would you say? Huh?
I'm sure if I hadn't gone through that train wreck, I would still be an alcoholic today, or I would be dead from cancer today.
Yeah. Are you in full remission?
Well, I don't call it that.
Yeah.
I just don't have cancer. It's kind of like I don't drink.
Yeah.
There's no evaluation to me. It just isn't.
Yeah, because that's true. Remission kind of sounds like intermission, right? Like we're waiting for it to come back.
I'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
Just sit tight.
That's very true. Yep.
I'm just out to get popcorn.
That's those words again. So I love that you just don't have cancer anymore.
No, just isn't.
Yeah.
But the point is, I think very often people do go through painful events.
Yeah.
and they just pick back up where they were.
Yes.
It's almost like they stumble over it like an accident and then go, oh, brush myself off and keep going. They don't even, a lot of people don't learn from the pain. So I don't know what, if there's a secret to this, a formula. Because, from Buddhism to Avanta solution to everything, the millions of years of mystics and gurus, suffering has been a central theme in the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And I don't think we've ever come to a conclusion about it other than people who tend to suffer greatly tend to be the ones who have this door open, the lights go on, and they find that in an instant almost because of the depth of the suffering.
Yes.
So it's an area that will stay somewhat mystical maybe forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people awake without great suffering.
That's true. I have two theories. One is, Earth is a planet of emotion. We come to have, this is the only, according to the beings that I channel, this is the only experience where the depth of love and the depth of pain are so great. When we are more in our energetic state, it's like this little gray area of love. But when we come to Earth, there's these great depths of different levels of love and pain we can experience, and we're meant to come and feel and experience that. And what my hypothesis is from that is, when we are in a state of love or ecstasy, it feels great and it feels high, but it's not, and it can be intense, but for the most of what people experience of joy, it's not this long, intensive feeling where pain is. And so because it's so intense and so depth that people kind of cling on to that. And then the other hypothesis on suffering is, there's actually a few. A lot of times when we're suffering and we're holding on to something because we're afraid if we let go, we will let go of either that person, place, or thing, and not just the story or the energy around it, right? People associate it with complete loss. But most people won't change until the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, because change is uncomfortable. It just is. And you have to get very comfortable in the discomfort and be able to come into a state of acceptance that you're uncomfortable, and not make it mean that something's wrong or bad. It's just an uncomfortable sensation. And if people could really grasp onto that, I think people would have more courage to shift. But this is also why I do my podcast and why I do what I do, because when people hear other people's stories, especially ones that are this intense, where, you went through radical things and came out the other side with a different identity, a different perspective, a different lease on life, it gives them the courage and the bravery to maybe just take one new step in a different direction that might lead them down a better path. And so it's important to tell these stories because they are healing for other people to hear, and give people courage to see like what you went through and how you are today. That is amazing. And that took courage for you to walk that path.
Yeah. And you're keying on that small thing. I don't know what I said earlier, and you said it was just that tiny little thing you just said.
Yeah.
There was so much.
Yeah.
Someone can watch a podcast and maybe one sentence is spoken. Yeah. For me, it was show me yesterday.
Yeah.
And it changed my entire life.
Yeah.
So this is why your work is so important, because someone might hear one little spark and all of a sudden a flame goes off inside them.
Yeah.
The lights start coming on from the tiniest thing. That's the most amazing part of this whole heart, spirit, mind adventure.
Yes.
Is that they are these tiny little sparks that can change your entire life, the course of your entire history.
Yeah.
And it's stunning. I used to always think that's sort of like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, it is.
You're returning to story.
Yeah.
And then it happens to you and you go, holy crap. this actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
This tiny thing opened all these huge doors.
Yeah.
So that's the importance of podcasting to me.
Yes, it
That
is.
is this
Or books.
incredible voice to be
Mm-hmm.
shared.
Yeah. So I have another question. You call yourself the 16-hour coach. Why is that? Tell me about the 16-hour coach.
That's the practice
Okay.
that I rebuilt my life with.
Okay, share a little bit about that.
It came to me that it was quite obvious a day is 24 hours. We sleep for, let's say, 8 hours. So 16 hours I have to be conscious.
Yes.
To be aware, to be experiencing the world, other people, my job, whatever. 16 hours. And then I went deeper and I said, if there is no longer a yesterday, and tomorrow is only a fantasy, a pretend of what might happen, then do I only ever live for 16 hours? Well, it became obvious to me that that was the truth.
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, well, what can I do in 16 hours? Could I take 30 minutes and go for a walk to make myself feel a little clear-headed and healthier? In 16 hours? Yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Just for one day, right? 30-minute walk. Yeah, I could do that. Could I take my time when I get to the fridge and choose better foods that are healthier for me instead of the chips and the soda and sit on the couch like I used to do? Choose better food in one day? Yeah, I could probably do that for one day. I took everything and just said, could I call someone I love and tell them I love them? Ask them if they need any help? Yeah, I could do that. Everything I could do in one day.
Yeah.
Could I go to work and work really attentively and really hard at keeping a roof over my head, clothes on my back, and food in my belly? Yeah, I can do that. I only have to do it for one day, right? Yeah, just one day. Wow. Yeah, I think I could do it for one day. And then I looked at AAs that I used to go to meetings. What's one of the biggest things they said? One day at a time. Well, what if your whole life only requires you to perform your best for one day? And tomorrow, when you wake up, you get this gift, another day.
Mm-hmm.
You get to even do better than the day before if you want to. You get to apply more of yourself, be more loving, be happier, enjoy life more for one day.
Yeah.
So when I took that to people and said, package your life in one day, and we begin breaking this down really methodically,
mm-hmm.
you can begin to see how simple it is. Because the complexity that we think is so hard, that we need discipline to get over, that we have to have goals and drive and courage and all these things, the reason for that is because we see 1,000 days.
Yeah, you see the mountain.
And it's so big, we can't imagine, and we struggle, and we fight, and we argue, and we cajole, and try to sell, and receive, and give. Well, what if you only had to do it for one day?
Yeah.
You're only climbing the mountain during this day. That's it. And I found the more we got simplified into baby steps of life, the easier life becomes. So I call it a 16-hour coach because
I like that.
You only have to perform for one day. You don't have to get 10 years. You don't have to have some master plan. Your master plan is today. Yeah. And tomorrow it'll be today. It'll only ever be today.
It's like that meme that floats around from time to time where it's like there's a whole staircase and they say just focus on the next step, the next stair, not the whole staircase. And that's what happens is people do. They get overwhelmed. They look at, oh my God, this is going to take so much time, or this is so much, or this or that. And again, they're making it bigger than it needs to be. Come back to this moment, this day. And I just use it like the gym. Like every morning I wake up, I don't want to go to the gym. I work out every day, almost every day. I love it. It brings me so much joy. But when I wake up, I don't want to. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to go. And I do that every day. Every day I go through this process. And every time I'm done working out, I'm like, God, I feel amazing. And so it's just face it one thing at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time.
There's a really important difference between us. I wake up every day and I can't wait to get to the gym.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's my place where I can meditate.
Mm-hmm.
I can zone into just my body and its movement, and go right to the edge of failure in every exercise, and I love the feeling.
Yeah.
And I call it, to work hard is really, really bad for you. To do hard work is really, really good for you.
Yeah.
Some people work hard at their jobs or hard at the gym, and they have to, and it pushes them, and they have to be disciplined, and they're exhausted. I do hard work every day, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the moment of doing what I have chosen.
Yeah.
And so it's not, I don't work hard. I do hard work, and I love the hard work. And that's the being, doing it, not getting somewhere with it.
Yeah.
Some guys go to the gym to look different in a year.
Yeah.
I go to the gym to feel good right now.
Yeah, that's why I go.
That's the difference.
Yeah, I go because it makes me feel good. And I actually enjoy, it sounds weird to say, but I enjoy the pain because I know
Yeah, me too.
what it's doing to my body. But it doesn't negate the fact, as much as I love the gym, and I do love, every morning there's still that thought crosses my mind. We don't have to go today. We can sleep. We can do this. And I don't listen to it. I get up and go regardless. But that thought crosses my mind every single day. And
I say never make a decision in your life. Only make a choice.
Yeah. And it is a choice. And when I can't get to the gym for whatever reason, I'm out of town or something happens or whatever, I don't feel the same. It's very much a part of my day and the things that align me. And so I really love doing it.
Because it's who you are.
Yeah. And to me, discipline is the highest level of self-respect, but that discipline doesn't come from an achievement. It comes from, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. And that requires discipline at times, and so I am disciplined in certain areas because I'm going to be the best parent, caregiver of myself, and say, you may not feel like you want to do this, but you need this. And it's going to make you feel much better once you do. So you're going to go and you're going to do this.
When I started my 16-hour approach, I knew I needed a coach, but I didn't have one, and I wasn't going to get one. So I had to be an alter ego on sticky notes. So I've still got a sticky note on my TV over here from 2 years ago. And the sticky note says, "Get off your ass." It's my coach looking at me going, "You're going to sit down and watch this thing? No. Get up, get moving." I put a sticky note on my fridge. "What are you going to put in your mouth?" That was my coach showing up and saying, "Up, think about what you're going to eat." This is the teaching of to wake up.
Yeah.
So I'm not walking around aimlessly in routine and habit.
Yeah.
The sticky notes help me wake up. And so I'd have them everywhere, and they were all bringing me to attention in the moment.
Yeah, they're bringing you back to the moment.
Yeah, none of them were, "Don't forget this," or "Make sure you get that," because those are outside the moment. Yeah. They were all, "What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Where are you going right now?" So it was keeping that 16 hours is just today, right now.
Yeah.
That's it. And I found that worked. That's the perfect coach that I needed.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, but
right.
I found for most people I work with, it is this being awake, in attention.
Well, and all coaches, in my opinion, should be teaching people how to coach and become aware of themselves.
Right.
Instead of the industry of coaches who want you to be dependent on needing their help.
A coach, a trainer, or a teacher should be working to get unemployed.
Exactly. That's what I always say. I'm always trying to, basically put myself out of business.
Right.
Yeah.
If I work with you, I want you not to need me as soon as possible.
Yeah.
That's success.
It is success.
That's
Absolutely.
doing my work.
Yes.
That's doing what I need to do for someone.
Yes.
Is to not be needed by them.
Exactly. Because they now know how to do it for themselves.
And the whole idea of need is the attachment
right.
that causes trouble.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We need to detach from all this need so that we can be.
Yeah.
It's funny when we talk about it, you and I together through this time, we start coming to the same sort of simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how no matter how complex life is, and whenever you work with someone or speak for a while, it always comes down. And all of a sudden we're left with just a couple of puzzle pieces left. And we go, wow, could it really be that simple?
Yeah.
And it really is.
Yeah.
It's complicated in getting there. It's a struggle. It can take a lot of effort. But when you start to see it, it becomes really simple.
Yes.
Take the complexity away. That's just the drama.
Yeah.
That's that story mind, the ego, the deception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have loved your story. Let's wrap with this. I always have a question that I ask at the end. If there's only one thing, if you could only tell one thing to the world that you believe would help them the most, what would that be?
Examine your story. Look at those memories.
Yeah.
Look for the reality, the truth, the cause and effect of what you believe.
Yes.
Look at yourself, your history. Your history holds the key to everything you struggle with.
I love that.
Nothing ever happens to you but you.
Yeah.
It's not the great big world and other people and circumstances. It's you.
Yeah, it's all you, baby. All you. Where can people find you if they want to follow you or learn more about you?
Dallas Collis at gmail.com. Reach out. We talk. I have some books here. They're on Amazon.
Oh, are those 4 books behind you that you published all of those?
The latest one is The Gift is the Present.
Okay.
The gift is today, 16 hours. Yeah. The present is here and now.
Yeah.
The gift is the present. That's it. The secret is out.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, what we'll do is we will link all of his socials, his email, and his books in the description below the podcast. So if you are interested in knowing more about him, reading some of his books, and listening to his wisdom, that's where you'll find it. And I'm so grateful that you came on today and shared your story. I think it's a beautiful story of transformation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You're doing great work. Keep it up.
Thank you. All right, you guys, we will see you in the next episode.
Hey, thanks for listening. This episode was brought to you by JohannaBurkhardt.com, where it's time to defy the limits of your mind and step into your multidimensional mastery. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. See you next time.